Okay, so I'm gonna share this recipe. Lavender cookies. These are not just gluten-free, they're paleo. So gluten-free is usually a rice flour blend, and I don't know. They just don't usually agree. The rice flour blends don't really agree with me. So when I went gluten-free, I tried lots of gluten-free products. Still didn't feel that great. And so then I did paleo, which works best for me. And paleo is no grain. And so these are made without grain. And there's a lot of nuts involved with paleo. So you have meat and vegetables and fruit and nuts and seeds. No dairy. No grain. I'm not as strict paleo as I was, because I will have like some rice flour stuff sometimes. And also, like, I did have some lactose-free Cabot cheese from Vermont the other day, which I seem to be fine with.
I thought you could do cheese on paleo. Aged cheese.
Why do I feel like it's not dairy?
Aged cheese is, like, if you get a good aged, like, cheddar cheese or something, it
I don't know.
doesn't have the lactose in it.
Oh.
Maybe they have dairy, but I think the book I have, Against All...
Yeah.
I don't know. Against All Grains, that's what it's called, the one I have. So maybe they have dairy. I just might have avoided the dairy because of me. But, yeah, there's a Cabot, the cheese company in Vermont. They have really good cheese, and a lot of it is lactose free and tolerable. Okay, so here is your recipe. A 1/4 cup coconut oil, which we are not using coconut oil. We're going to use olive oil. And I prefer olive oil over the coconut oil just because I don't really like the coconut oil taste in my cookies.
You can taste it.
You could use butter. So, like, if you're fine with butter, go ahead and use butter. And then 1 tablespoon of lavender flowers. Oh, crap. That didn't come up right. Pause.
I don't usually bake. I cook.
I know, I don't usually either. Probably because it's not as fun as it used to be. I mean,
all right, almond oil. Well, that's not going to rise.
All right.
Yeah.
So I said 1 tablespoon lavender flowers, then 1 egg, a 1/4 cup honey, or we're using sugar. Sweetener. I would say either the honey or the sugar.
Okay.
1 teaspoon lemon zest, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 1.5 cup almond flour. So pretty much they call almonds ground up flour. You know, just like the wheat berries grounded, when they grind it up, it's a flour. So all of the like nut flours are the nuts ground pretty fine. And so calling it almond flour. 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 1/8 teaspoon sea salt, and I guess I should have squeezed this in under the almond flour. This is my addition. 1/2 cup arrowroot.
What if you don't have that?
Then I would use tapioca. So they call arrowroot, I guess they don't call it flour. Arrowroot powder. Tapioca powder is probably the other one, or starch. I don't like using cornstarch.
Tapioca flour, it's called.
Why don't you like cornstarch? Because
Well, the corn I mean, they're not really
Yeah.
making cornstarch out of
No.
like high quality corn. So tapioca is a starch. The arrowroot is the root vegetable that is turned into the starchy
Nice.
powder.
Did they sell it
Potato
at Dutch
starch,
one?
too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll get some.
I got this at Dove's
Yeah,
Home Dairy,
tapioca, too.
but arrowroot I like better than tapioca. It does give somewhat of a rise where the tapioca doesn't. It's more gooey. It's my favorite starch replacer
some.
to use. It kind of serves as the gluten, so like the almonds have nothing gooey at all whatsoever. There's no rise. It's just like meal. It can be
I
mealy.
see.
So by adding the arrowroot, we're kind of making a more gooey, doughy texture. The thing about the gluten-free or paleo baking is the texture. You can replace all the ingredients, but can you mimic the texture of wheat and make it as nice?
Nothing. Rise.
I feel like I've got pretty good at mimicking. Like my kids now, I make a paleo pizza basically, and a gluten-free. Okay, they don't like the paleo as much, but the gluten-free one with the rice flour, my kids say they like actually better than the wheat flour
Oh,
pizza.
Rice flour.
Yeah, it's never just rice flour alone. The
It's a mix.
it's always mixed because
Do
you
you
have to.
anything gum in there to make it?
Yeah, some of the blends use xanthan gum. I like the arrowroot starch. What else? I brought some buckwheat flour along. I was debating adding it in. Now, buckwheat is not wheat.
Oh.
I do eat buckwheat, the berries they're called,
Buckwheat.
and they're really delicious. They kind of remind me of wheat berries. I used to soak the wheat berries and make all kinds of things with the soaked wheat berries. The buckwheat is a strong flavor. It's dense. I was debating adding a little just to have some more variety into the dough mix, but I don't think we're gonna add that. Okay, so that's the recipe. You're mincing the lavender. So you have 1 tablespoon, and you're gonna chop it up a little bit and add it to the oil. So if you were using the coconut oil, you would melt the coconut oil and then put the lavender in the coconut oil. We're using olive oil, so we're just going to add it to the olive oil. And then mix all the wet ingredients first. Add the dry ingredients. If you have time, put in the freezer just to get a little bit hard. And then you are to roll into 1.5 inch balls or what, I don't know, roll into size that you like. And the recipe that I have calls for this, but I don't do this part. You can sprinkle with a little bit of sea salt and then also lemon zest like on top. You could sprinkle with some lavender petals on top. You could ice them, whatever you want to do to the top. They're more of like a shortbread kind of cookie. And you could even press them and add jelly like in the middle. So it's kind of like, this is a good lavender cookie base. You could be a little creative from that point. Okay.
Well, then make a sandwich.
This is what your batter should look like. It's kind of gooey. And there is your finished cookie.
I watched some.
Not as pretty as wheat cookies, but definitely delicious.